Opo, sir.
Ayan. So, let's look at yung two possibilities. Yung first natin is yung diniscuss ni Sir Tommy. So, sabi niya, Likert scale nga daw talaga yon. Ang mangyayari kasi yun pag ni Likert scale is, for example, under technology. So, kailangan meron kayong mga dito meron pa mga points under technology, yung internet, yung access to internet, and then gagawa kayo ng Likert scale similar to kung paano yung present niya nung yung screenshot nyo. And then, ang idea niya is sasagutin nyo ng mga experts. So, pag sasagutin nyo ng mga experts, meaning, kukuha kayo ng participants from BSP, from IT, for example. So, yun yung isang challenge nun. Kasi pag ni-Likert scale, nyo, ang summary lang nun is, as in, ang qualitative part na ng thesis ninyo is, this is the summary of the Likert scale based on the, kumbaga based on the answers of our participants dun sa survey. So for example, kung gagamitin natin yung pinakita ni Sir Tommy sa inyo, nasa nasa planning stage pa lang, for example. So yun yung magiging quantitative part ng thesis ninyo. The challenge is yun nga, pagkuha ng participants because you need to determine the population. So sabi nga niya, mga 100 to 200 people ang kailangan nyo makuha within the data collection period from various experts. Malinaw yon?
Opo, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yon. Yung second na pwede nyong gawin na similar pa din. Actually, itong dalawa naman, hindi naman siya nagde-delve away from your previous na idea na readiness. So yung second is yung sinend ko kay Hesed. Shinare mo ba sa kanila yon, Hesed?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so yon. Ang second is gagalaw yung idea ninyo from asan na yun? Asan ko nilagay? Ayan. So gagalaw yung idea ninyo from access, digital access, and demographics, or technically yung usage ng technology tsaka behavior. Ang idea kasi nito is if we have access and we have behavior towards the use of CDC, then there is a demand. So ibig sabihin, may gagamit. So ang mangyayari dito is your measurement of the readiness will primarily be on the demand of the dun sa CDC or dun sa CDC ulit, digital currency, central digital currency. Ang madali dito, ang challenge naman dito is for you to choose a certain population na kasi ang mangyari dito hindi na necessarily expert. Anyone that will come from yung age spectrum ninyo, yung gender, tsaka doon sa employment, as long as representative sila ng mga yon, then you can determine yung relationship whether the use and access can determine yung readiness of the Philippines for the implementation of the digital currency. The challenge here is yung coordination for you to look for a statistician, because I personally cannot assist you with yung regression, with correlation, because that's not my expertise. Ang ginawa ng mga previous na advices ko dati is they got a thesis advisor. Kumuha na bagong thesis advisor. They got a statistician. Tapos, yung statistician yung nag-ayos ng mga data nila, yung statistician nag-determine kung anong data yung kailangan. Tapos, statistician yung nag-ayos ng data, and then they presented the data to me. And para maging in line doon pa rin sa research questions nila yung data, we've met together with the statistician para maayos namin yung pagsagot nila or pag-analyze nila yung data. So those are the two plans na pwede nyong gawin. Napag-usapan nyo na ba siya based doon sa in-email ko?
Not yet pa po, sir. Pero na-share ko lang po sa kanila.
Okay. Sige. Ngayon, nung shinare ko to mga information na to, based on the two plans, which do you think yung mas madadalian kayo? It will differ to kung saan kayo madadalian kasi ilang months nyo lang gagawin yung thesis.
Sir, question po.
Yes.
If in case we'll shift to dun sa what do you call this, dun sa demand, maapektuhan po ba ng malaki? Maraming changes po ba kaming gagawin for the paper? Or
Actually, either way, walang masyadong changes. Because, yes.
Sorry. So yung RRL po namin, inline pa rin po sa objective of our study pa rin po.
Dadagdagan niya yun. I was about to say, yung RRL, dadagdagan nyo lang ng demand. Yung may sinend akong...
Yes. Yung Bank of Canada, sir.
Oo, pwede nyo lang idagdag yung idea na yun na for them, ang measure nila was the demand. Para lang to support yung paper ninyo.
Tapos, and then if we'll focus on demand, sir, like for respondents, 100 respondents for a certain locality, will it be enough po ba?
Pag ganon, kailangan nyo nang gumamit ng meron yung statistic, di ba meron yung kailangan, alam mo muna yung total population?
Para a certain locality, sir?
Oo.
Okay.
Kasi pwedeng, binibase ko actually to doon sa ginawa din ng isang nasa thesis defense na they chose a certain locality. So pwedeng kung gawin nyo para lang i-determine. Or for example, basta you choose a certain population lang. And from that population, merong formula na yon kung ilang participants yung kailangan ninyo based on kung ilang sample yung kailangan ninyo based on the population. Pero usually yon nagde-range talaga siya around 100 to 200. Kasi actually, yun, habang nag-isip kayo, nung nag-usap din kami ni Sir Tommy, I guess, yung sinabi niya sa inyo na you will need to interview 100 to 200 people from BSP. Ayoko na lang siyang i-correct. Pero I think he has yung perspective kasi niya is into quantitative. Pag quantitative kasi tayo na thesis, the number of participants in a survey is very important. Pero pag qualitative kasi, you do not need 100 respondents. You just need to saturate the data. So I think nanggagaling ito doon sa thrust of the Department of Financial Management na syempre we're working with numbers. So most of the panel na baka makinig nung thesis ninyo will not purely appreciate the qualitative aspect of your thesis. So I guess we can just defer to them since sila din naman yung magde-determine ng if plausible yung thesis niyo. So gawin na natin si quantitative. Ang kailangan na natin is for you to determine saan kayo mas madadalian doon sa dalawa. Kasi ito pa pala, another thing doon sa if you do a Likert scale, I think madadalian kayo in terms of getting your sample. Kasi ang mangyayari dyan, pwede nyo siyang gawing ilabas lang online, as in sa social media, tapos magagawa kayo ng guideline if you're part of, for example, if you're part of IT, if you, parang alam niyo, lalagyan niyo ng guidelines. Tapos if they fit the guideline or they fit the conditions, then they can answer your survey. So if yun yung pinursu nyo, yung Likert scale, hindi na kayo required na pumili ng isang locality, for example.
Parang mas madali po yun, sir. If pag iniisip po.
Ang challenge doon is yung paggawa talaga ng Likert scale, because you need to, kailangan meron kayong yung mga under nung technology, meron na kayong question doon or hindi pala question, statements. Tapos yung ganun sa pinakita ni Sir Tommy. Actually, pwede nyo gamitin yung kung paano niya yung ginawa, pero iibahin nyo lang yung part na dito, yung partially compliant, newly compliant, compliant and working. Pwede siyang pwede siyang, ang pinaka-positives nyo na would be implemented, for implementation, yung ganun pa lang. Kasi ang expected naman dyan is ang pag nag-Likert scale kayo, nasa gitna pa lang yan. Yun yung a priori expectation. So I would love na you decide, because from that decision, doon na natin magagawa yung sige, tignan mo natin kung magagawa natin yung kailangan yung revisions. Kasi sa 23 na to, di ba? Tama ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
23 and that's a Thursday. Okay. So yun. Do you want to decide now or you would love to talk as a group muna?
I think we can talk about it, sir, very quickly lang naman. Right after this, we can decide po siguro.
Kasi inisip ko, once you decide, saka natin isa-isahin yung revisions na hiningi. Kasi yun din yung sabi ni Sir Tommy sa akin. Once you decide, once ma-decide na natin kung ano yung gagawin, then moving forward, yung ibang revisions na kailangan, you can do that na based on that. So kasi ako, I would love na you decide as a group. Kasi I can advise you kung ano yung pwedeng gawin. Pero it all boils down to you kung saan kayo mas madadalian kasi kayo ang gagawa niya. Ano ang plano ninyo? Wala nang plano. Ano pa ba? Sige, ganito. Ano pa ba yung kailangang ibahin doon sa pinapa-revise doon sa initial nyo na research proposal?
Sir,
Bukod
more
research
on yung format and frameworks tsaka yung mga objective of the study.
Sige. Yun. Kasi sige, pwede natin pag-usapan si format para madalian kayo. Sige. Pa-open Para yung format yung ayusin natin muna. Yan, sino mag-share?
Wait, I'll share screen po, sir.
Okay. Ayan, sige. Ang gawin natin, so yung first part, yung background of the study. Ayan. Tapos, ang second part should be the statement of the problem. Diba yung nagawa niyo na statement of the problem yun? Ayan. Okay. Ang next ay research questions. Okay. And then next should be the objectives of the study. Ayan. Gagawin niyo ng objectives of the study. Yan. Next should be the statement of hypothesis. So since, yan, gagawin niyo ng statement of hypothesis. Pag nakapag-decide na naman kayo kung ano yung ipopursue, madali na lang pagsunod-sunodin yan kasi related lang naman yung research questions papuntang hypothesis. So madali na lang yung ayusin. Sige, after nyan, yung significance. Ano yung next nyo dyan?
Significance.
Enter the study. Okay. Yung significance ninyo, para kanino nyo nilagay?
For ano po, business para easier transaction.
And then,
Yun lang po, sir.
sige. I-ano na lang natin, paghiwa-hiwalay nyo na lang. So we have, actually number 1, ang pwedeng maging significance of the study new study shall be important to the BSP. Kasi ang idea is it will give them ibibigay ko na lang yung idea, kaya na lang mag-phrase ha. So it will give them additional information. So kung ipopursu niyo yung plan A, which is your Likert scale, it will give them additional information in their current study about CDC, especially on the status of technology, economy and legal aspects in the eyes of or in the perspective of the selected experts. If ipopursu nyo naman yung pangalawa, sige, mag-type ka muna.
Okay po, sir.
Yan. Kung ipopursu nyo yung ikalawa, ang magiging importance naman yan sa DSP is for them to have an idea of the possible demand or the usage of CDC should they decide to pursue with CDC, because the idea there is, may CDC ka nga, pero hindi naman siya gagamitin ng mga tao. Okay. Tapos for anong nilagay nyo ng importance for businesses? Ulit. This is big companies security. Okay. Since ang idea natin is readiness, ano ba yung significance ng readiness to the businesses? So for the businesses to understand where we at in terms of having a CDC, so that in the future they can slowly adjust to a possible CDC moving forward. So mag-adjust sila in terms of their operations. Tapos, ang last niyan would be significance for future studies. So it will give it will provide additional resources for future studies on CDC. So i-phrase nyo na lang ng ano yan. Basta karoon lang yung idea niyan. Future studies in terms of CDC, especially on, so magkaiba ulit yan. Kung purpose natin si number 1, especially on the status of the blah blah blah, the legal, tech, and econ based on the results of the Likert scale. On the other hand, yung ikalawa is they give them additional information as to understanding the behavior and the usage of the people that might affect the demand, hence which will affect the demand and will also affect the readiness of the Philippines. So, igawin nyo na lang siyang ito, by part. So, meron kayong significance for BSP, significance for, kailangan din para significance for the financial institutions. So, after BSP, financial institutions. So, ang idea niyan for financial institutions is for them to understand then where we at in terms of having CDC, so that they can also adjust their operations as their operations are based on the use or the flow of actual money in the financial system. So when we talk about kasi financial institutions, we talk about the banks, we talk about the insurance companies, we talk about lending industry, entire lending industry. Clear? Tapos ayusin nyo na lang siya ng based on the impact. So number 1 is BSP, number 2 is financial institutions, number 3 businesses, number 4 future studies.
Sir, is it parang by section po namin gagawin?
By section nyo na lang gawin. Yun. Huwag pa initip yung term na yon, by section.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
The next natin is yung scope and limitations of the study. So, yan pa rin is nakadepende pa din yan sa kung anong gagawin natin. So, for example, if yung scope ninyo ay do sa plan A, so your scope would be measurements, ayan, the measurements, sige, focus tayo sa scope. Ang scope nyo ay the study will include, pag Likert scale, the study will include, paano ba piniphrase yun? Accept the
Sir, excuse me po.
yes.
We're chatting po sa group chat, and I think we've come up to a conclusion na po na I think we'll still pursue with the Likert scale po.
Sige. Okay, sige. E di kung ganon, start tayo sa taas ulit. So, kung magla-Likert scale tayo para maayos natin siya.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, yan, okay pa din naman yan. Ang same pa din, wala kayong iba yun sa introduction kasi yun pa din naman siya. Sige, baba tayo. Yan, dito sa statement of the problem, to evaluate. So with this paper aims to evaluate whether the Philippines is ready to implement a central digital bank currency based on, gawin natin mas specific, in terms of technology, legal aspect, and economic aspect. Okay. Next. Research question. The main research question natin is the Philippines ready for the implementation of the digital currency? Is it ready in terms of technology? So yung readiness natin will be on wait lang ah. Idadagdag na ba yung hindi. Masasagot na yun. Pag nagsabi ka ng ready, where are you in terms of it's ready for the implementation of a digital currency? Is the Philippines ready in terms of technology? Sige, okay na yan. Baba tayo sa objectives. Okay. Yung objectives, gawin nyo na lang siyang mas simple. So, ibig sabihin ang gagawin nyo lang the objectives of this research is as follows.
So, sir, parang bullet points.
Ibo-bullet points na lang siya na in line doon sa research questions. So, hindi. Sige. Paangat doon sa ano. Para nakukulangan ako sa research questions. Balik ka tayo sa research question. Is the Philippines ready for the implementation of the digital currency? So, pag no. Kailangan may palagi ng number 2. Kailangan may number 2 tayo. So, yan yung quantitative. Ang qualitative part ng thesis shall be, where are we? Where is the Philippines in terms of technology, legality, and economics relative to the implementation of. Kasi ang mangyayari, yung Likert scale ang sasagot ng number 1, and then yung research ninyo, yung qualitative research ninyo, yung sasagot sa number 2. Ano relative to the implementation of. Tama yan, sige. Relative to the implementation of the digital currency. Is it digital currency lang or central digital currency?
Central bank digital currency.
Central bank. O yan, sige. Sa lahat ng i-discuss ninyo na digital currency, dapat consistent siya na central bank digital currency. So, ito yung number 1. Ayan. So, dahil dyan, ang magiging objective nyo na is number 1, to determine if the Philippines is ready for a digital currency in terms of, yun na, in terms of legal and economic.
So, sir, dapat po talagang inline, I mean, nire-reflect lang din po nung objectives of the study yung mga research questions.
Ang thesis ninyo, ang connected parate dapat si research question. Actually, connected si research gap or sa statement of the problem. Connected siya kay research questions because ang idea is, these are my questions. So what are my objectives to answer the question? Gets?
Okay po.
Yes. Kasi after niyan, if gagawa na kayo ng sa defense naman, ang conclusion nyo would be merely answering these questions. For example, magiging sagot nyo na, based on the results of the study, we have determined that the Philippines is not yet ready in terms of technology because, in terms of legal because, blah, blah, blah. Tapos ang second Yun na is, furthermore, we have noted that we are not yet ready because blah, 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 blah. Tapos yun na yung conclusion. So, nating inline yun lahat. So, number 2 nyo is to, ano ba dapat na word dyan? To determine, to discuss, hindi siya to discuss to identify. If you want to know, to determine, ano bang ibang word sa determine?
Evaluate.
Sige, yun na lang, evaluate. So, evaluate the current status of the implementation and implementation of the CBDC in terms of technology, legality, and economic. So dyan, pag tinanong naman kayo, kasi si number 1 will be answered by the Likert scale. Number 2, di ba meron kayong mga guidelines?
Yes, sir.
Opo.
So that will assist you further in evaluating. Clear?
Clear, sir.
Yan,
Yes,
para
yes, sir.
hindi na kayo mahirapan mag-iba ng, sige, baba tayo. So, yung objectives, gawin na lang ganyan para madali ang buhay nyo. Sa statement of hypothesis natin ngayon, baba tayo sa statement of hypothesis. So, yan, gawin nyo na lang din naka-bullet points. So, ibu-bullet points din natin yan. So, for this study, the goal is to identify, to determine if we're ready and to determine where we are. Hence, these are the hypotheses. Yun ba ang... Ayan, so dyan yung nagagawin yung alternative and null hypothesis. So, ang alternative ay null muna. Anong nauuna? Null or alternative? Ano nauuna?
I think null ba?
Null yata.
Null po.
Feeling ko null. Anyway, oo, null yata. H1, HO muna bago H1. Tama, null muna. Okay. So, ang null hypothesis natin is, isa-isahin nyo lang siya. The Philippines is not yet ready in terms of technology. The Philippines is not yet ready in terms of legality. Blah, 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 blah. Tapos, baligtarin nyo lang siya para makakuha kayo ng alternative. Tatlong ano yun, ha? Parang tigi-isang bullet sa tech, legal, economics.
Okay,
Get?
sir. Yes, pa.
Yung pangalawa, walang hypothesis yun kasi qualitative yun. Yung second objective natin, yan lang yung hypothesis ninyo kasi yung second objective, walang hypothesis yan because we don't have a hypothesis for a qualitative thesis.
Okay, sir.
Ayun, nagawa natin yung sa significance kanina. Punta na tayo ngayon sa scope. Balik tayo sa scope. Okay. So, ang scope nyo ngayon is the study will primarily focus on the Central Digital Bank. They primarily focus on the readiness of the Philippines and in terms of the implementation of CBDC. Di ba? Parang inulit-ulit lang talaga yan. CBDC and the data shall be gathered through a survey to be participated in by experts in the field of technology, legal, and econ. Ano ba kaya ang pwedeng maging ano dyan? Tapos, the survey shall be conducted through kung paano nyo siya i-conduct. So, kung naka-Google Form ba kayo, blah, blah, blah.
Google Forms.
So, kung Google Forms. And shall be evaluated together with the data gathered from the review of related literature. Sa ayusin na lang yung phrasing yan. Tapos, your limitation shall be, ayan, yung limitation ninyo shall not cover the other cryptocurrencies. Tapos ito, yung mga nilang ito shall not cover the pros and cons. And ano pa bang limitation ng study nyo? Kung Likert scale, it will not consider, this will also not consider other, ang tawag dun? Other aspects that may affect the readiness of the Philippines in the implementation of the CBDC. Yan. I think we're good. Tapos, yung ang next na niyan ay yung RRL. Kasi nakita ko yung RRL, di parang okay na naman. Wala na naman. Hindi nyo na iba yung RRL nyo. Kasi
Yeah, actually po sir, parang ano po, hindi po nila masyado namang na-critic yung mga content po namin ng RRL.
hindi nila masyadong na?
Hindi na po nila masyadong, yeah, apo.
Sige, okay na yun. Ako din nung binasa ko, okay naman ako dyan.
Last part po. May sinabi po sila.
Oo nga pala, yeah.
Anong sabi nila?
Hindi, di ba kailangan daw ng literature map?
Map daw po.
Oh,
Yeah.
gagawin natin yon sa after niyan. So, ang mangyayari lang dyan is
Ay, so hindi na po namin lalagyan ng research gap to?
ng alin?
Research gap?
The statement of the problem is already the research gap.
Ah, okay. I thought the after ng RRL.
Wala, no. Wait lang Alam ko wala na. Kasi parang kaya ka nga nag-statement of the problem because you saw a research gap.
Okay, sir.
Okay? So, yun. After dyan, yun yung literature map after ng RRL. Diyan lang naman, ang mangyayari lang dyan is kung paano nyo diniscuss sa RL, gagawin nyo lang siyang in concept map. Ano yung ginamit yung data, ay ginamit yung source for a certain topic. Tinuruan ba kayo kung paano gumawa ng literature map?
No po, sir.
Hindi po.
Oh, interesting. Okay, wait lang. Ganito. Nasaan na yung isang... Nasaan na yung dating thesis? Ito ba? Wait lang, hanapin ko yung... Literature map is page 35. Okay. Paalaw ako mag-share screen, please.
Okay, sir.
Ayan. Ito yung thesis nila. Nakikita ng screen ko.
Yes po.
Ayan. Ito yung thesis nila last term. So, ang nangyari lang dyan is, di ba, ima-map out nyo na i-determine yung, tawag dito, i-determine nyo yung, tawag dito, wait lang. Nawala yung line of thought ko, wait lang. Nasa na yung RL nyo kanina. Pero pinapasa. Okay. So, di ba naka-ano yun? I-outline nyo yung RL ninyo. Tapos sa RL ninyo, ano yung mga under doon sa pag-outline ninyo, saan nanggagaling yung mga information na yon? Kasi dito, for example, dito kasi nag-discuss sila ng, ba't ayaw lumiit? Ayan. Dito kasi nag-discuss sila ng demographics, usage of money, and financial inclusion. Sa usage of money, dito, ito yung mga resources nila. Sa financial inclusion, ito rin yung resources nila. So literature map is parang nirun through nyo lang kami doon sa mga sources na kinuha nyo sa RRL that will help you further that will help you in the study. Gets ba yun?
Yes, sir.
Yes po, sir.
Hindi na siya parang kung i-outline nyo kasi ito yung main idea ng outline niya. So 1, 2, 3 and then ito yung diniscuss dyan, ito yung diniscuss dyan, ito yung diniscuss dyan. Clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Sige. Ang next natin, after literature map is yung chapter 3. Yun na yung theoretical framework yung kanina.
Sir, dito po, question na po kasi dito po, sabi po ni Sir Thomas, it's not based on theory. So, on what theory po namin ibe-base po yung study po namin?
Sorry, anong sabi ni Sir Tommy?
Yung ginawa po namin, it's not based on a theory daw po.
Sige, wait lang. Kasi wala kayong kinonsider pa na theory, no? Na pwedeng magamit.
Yes, sir.
Oo, kasi dati ang ginawa natin. Actually, dyan, kailangan natin mag-isip ng theory that will explain the readiness. Hindi din kayo binigyan ng mga nag-discuss dati ng mga theories and finance. Wala kayong ganong subject?
Wala po, sir.
Totoo ba? Sige.
Sir, about saan po? Saan po ulit?
Theories and finance. Kasi for example, I'm coming from the idea na nung undergrad ako, we have one subject na parang theories in political science. Ganun. So at least all throughout the entire 4 years, we were able to parang come up with, or may idea kami kung ano yung mga theories under political science. So sa inyo, wala kayong parang subject na tinuturuan kayo ng theories?
I think wala po yata so far po kaming natakal na gano'n. Yeah, wala po yata.
Sige. Then I need to help you for possible theories. Yung ginamit nyo, kasi ito tama, yung theoretical framework nyo based doon sa nyo, di ba, guideline?
Yes, sir.
Yung guideline na yan, wala silang sinamang theory na ginamit nila?
Wala po sir. Based on ano lang po, motivations on why countries are ano po, are studying and implementing CBDC.
Motivations. So yung that's my challenge now. Motivations from no, wait lang ah. Sige, laktawan muna natin yan. Kasi medyo critical yung paghahanap ng theory. And hindi ako masyadong familiar sa mga possible na theories na pwede niyong magamit. Wait lang. Unless, and this is different. But if we discuss, ilang nga ba? Kasi may nagamit yung mga estudyante ko dati na pwede natin magamit. I just need to look for it. Ayun. Change in supply of money results. Can you look for monetary theory? Kasi ang monetary theory concludes that the change in supply of money results in the rise of economic activity. Ayan, sige. Play with the idea of yan, monetary theory. Kasi that will change the money supply and also that has the idea dun sa pag-change ng transaction.
So we can use this po, sir?
Oo, try yung familiarize yourself with that because ang idea lang naman dyan is tawag dito, yung impact nung that will explain the impact of the change papuntang actual money to a central bank digital currency and how it will affect the financial system. So, research muna kayo about dyan and papunta doon sa use of technology. Pero kasi pag ito, wait lang ah. You're understanding tech, econ. Under econ, anong balak niyong i-discuss sa econ?
More on ano sir, decline of cash and increase in the use of digital payments.
Sige. Fusion. Kasi iniisip ko behavior na kasi itong isa. Wait lang. This is behavior. So, hindi kayo magme-measure ng behavior, di ba?
No po, sir.
Okay. Hindi pwede itong theory of bad behavior. Si unified theory of acceptance. Behavior of customers din to. Sige. In the meantime, play familiarize yourself with monetary theory muna
Okay, sir.
and how that will possibly help you. Tapos pag may nakita pa akong pwedeng mag-complement dyan, ay sasabihin ko kayo agad. Pero at least we'll start with monetary theory.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Yan. Tapos next dyan would be your conceptual framework. Okay. Sa conceptual framework, may binaiba sila dyan kasi hindi ko yan babaguhin kung yan lang yung hindi gagawa.
Sir, ano lang daw, more specific, like, because technology daw is so broad, like, what in technology, ganun daw po.
Sige, ano ba sa technology ang hanapin ninyo? Use access?
More on, excuse me, more on universal access, resilience, privacy, cybersecurity.
Ayun, lagay na lang siya, ilagay mo na lang bullet under.
Okay, sir.
So, pati yung legal tsaka economic. So, lagay ko na lang kayo bullet sa ilalim na yan.
Okay,
And
sir.
how the three effects. Tapos ito, lagyan nyo siya ng readiness in the implementation of the central bank digital currency.
Sorry, sir, where will we put yung readiness po?
Diyan, yung sa taas lang yan mismo. I mean, di ba meron kayo sa box. So the box should read readiness in the implementation of a central bank digital currency.
Okay, sir.
Kasi yun yung ending nyo eh. So para lang tapos ilalagay nyo na technically your independent variable are yung tatlo, tapos dependent nyo yung readiness.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Clear?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next natin would be yung operational framework. Tama ba?
Yes, sir.
Ayan. Sa operational framework, okay ba sila dito? O pinapaiba nila?
Sir, sabi lang po, yung kailangan parang yung sa conceptual, like yung shapes.
Ano yun? Sorry.
Parang sabi kailangan daw talaga gumawa ng parang concept map instead of
Okay.
paragraph form.
Pwede gawin natin concept map. Sige. Pwedeng... So, paano nyo siya ginawa? Sige. Ang gagawin nyo ay kailangan ko ng ballpen. Wait lang. Ang nangyayari dyan ay paangat doon saan? Paangat doon sa ang tawag doon?
Conceptual, sir.
Oo. Ayan. So, ang mangyayari dyan ay wait lang ha. Gagawa lang ako ng magandang drawing. This is readiness. Tapos, this is actually, nangyari dito. Tech, tapos legal, econ. These are your input. This is your output. And then your process would be survey, Likert scale, and then sa baba niya, you also have evaluation of related studies, and then papuntang monetary theory, initially monetary theory, papuntang readiness. Ay! Ayan. Kita pa. Nakikita nyo ba? Ayan. Oops. Paano siya malala? Ang dilim pa ng bahay. Ayan. So, nakikita nyo na ito yung sa concept map. Tama? Ito. Tech, legal, and economic. Tapos, ang idea kasi niya ng operational map is, ano yung gagawin ko para itong input na to, itong mga input na to, kasama to, ay mapunta sa output na to, which is the readiness. Yung sa, gets?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, para mapunta ako sa output, kailangan ko ng process. And my process would be survey, yung Likert scale na gagawin nyo. Second is, ito yung sasagot sa research number 1, research question number 1. This will answer research question number 2, which is the evaluation of related studies. And then, para further analyze nyo siya, you will use the monetary policy initially para makuha nyo yung readiness. Gets?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Parang ganyan yun. I-screenshot nyo na lang ang napakaganda kong drawing.
Yes, sir. Screenshot ka.
Sige. Tingin ko na ano. Okay. Sige. Okay na tayo sa operational framework. So, ang next na is methodology. Tama ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ano ang sabi nila sa methodology ninyo?
Sa research design naman po, tama naman daw po. And sa research sampling po,
iibahin na natin to actually, yung research sampling.
Yes, sir.
Oo. So sa research sampling natin, dito na papasok yung snowball sampling. Ang snowball sampling is tawag dito. Ay, wait lang, hindi ko snowball. Tama pa rin yata yun, purposive pa din. Sorry. Kasi ang snowball is kung sino-sino lang. Anong sabi nila sa research sampling ninyo? Sorry.
Wait, I'm sorry. Ano yung sabi nila? Kasi we did not include research sampling po, sir, sa presentation namin. Kasi the original part po is qualitative po, di ba? And then And then for qualitative, wala naman po siyang research sampling.
So bago lang to.
Yes, sir.
Sige. Okay na, purposive lang pala. Kasi ang snowball is kung sino-sino lang yung pwede. Kaso purposive kayo kasi may certain na guidelines kayong hihingin sa kanila. So,
Sorry, sir.
so I think that's fine. Saka, if possible, if gusto nyo rin gawin, kung hindi siya masyadong hassle din sa inyo, it will also help, for example, meron doon sa questionnaire ninyo, may part doon sa questionnaire asking the participant if he or she wants to participate in, for example, a 30-minute interview to further discuss yung sagot niya. So, parang ang tawag na doon is a key informant interview. So, para lang kasi, honestly, pag gumagawa tayo ng Likert scale, di ba pag sumasagot din kayo ng, di ba ang Likert scale is, kunyari, never, sometimes, always, hindi naman parate, parang ako, iba yung definition ko ng sometimes, iba yung definition nyo ng sometimes. So, for you to have better understanding of their answers, what you can do is, if they want, you can interview them for them to further discuss kung bakit yun yung sagot nila, ano yung definition nila ng ganyan.
Sir.
So you might want to consider that.
Sir, on ano yun? Parang on any of the respondents po na mag-a-agree.
Oo.
Okay po.
Ayan. So, next is data collection. Lagyan na lang siya ng data collection. Para malinaw. Data collection. So, for the data collection, okay. So, ang number 1 natin is the data for this study will come from both surveys, interviews, and secondary data. Well, surveys and interviews are primary. Diba? Tapos, ang secondary nyo would be yung related studies. Tapos para mas madalian kayo, gawa kayo ng table. Parang ganito siya. Wait lang. Asa na yun? Asa na? Wait lang. Research. Ay, nandito pala yun. Research report. Where is the downloads? There. Ano siya? Mag-share screen ako .
Okay, sir.
Ayan. Ito ang aking thesis noon. So, huwag niyo napansin na purong Tagalog yan. Asan na yung ano ko? Ayan, ganito. So, ito yung data gathering. Ayan, data collection. So, ang mangyayari, pwede kayo gumawa ng ganitong table. So, yung data sets is, ano yung kailangan kong information. For example, ang kailangan yung information yung under privacy. So, kung ano yung mga under ng tech, ano yung under ng legal. Tapos, saan nyo siya makukuha. So sa inyo, makukuha niyo siya sa survey, makukuha niyo siya sa rated studies. Ay, kanino magagaling? So dito is, ang ilalagay niyo dito is yung survey participants and interview or key informant interviews or key, hindi pala dapat, key, hindi na siya key, wait lang ha, para malino kasi lilipat yun eh. So ang data set mo would be, kunyari privacy, ang data source mo is survey participants and interviewee from a survey participant. Tapos yung method mo is like survey and key informant interview and research from secondary data or secondary sources pala. Ito yun. Parang pananalysis of data. Gets nyo ba siya?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so para lang madali nila makita, magagamit nyo kasi ito moving forward pag nag-ano na kayo. Pag minomonitor nyo na kung sapat na ba yung data na nakukuha ninyo. Okay, clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Sige. Ang next na natin ay data analysis. Tama ba?
Opo.
Ayan.
So parang ganito po, sir, no? So under technology, lalagyan lang po namin ng ano.
Ay, ayan pala eh. Sabi ko na nga ba, alam mo nalito na ako kung sino sa inyong apat yung may ganyan. Kayo pala yung may ganyan. O sige, ganyan nga. Pero kailangan yung measurements is mas specific.
Okay, sir.
Saka yun, syempre may iba na yung mga methods and techniques natin.
Ang alam ko po sir, they said po about this is parang kailangan lang po namin lagyan ng label or name yung parang table na ginawa.
Oh, yes, pwede din naman yun. Pero more than that is kailangan nyo tong i-base doon sa bago nating gagawin.
Apo.
Okay. Sige. Data analysis na tayo. So, dyan naman sa data analysis, ang gagawin nyo lang dyan ay, so number 1 is ang gagawin nyo is number 1 descriptive and wait lang. Tama. So number 1 is descriptive kasi ang descriptive analysis is you will summarize the result of the Likert scale or the survey. So doon siya analyze. Ang second analysis ninyo would be a thematic analysis. Or hindi siya case analysis, thematic analysis siya. Hindi thematic, hindi mathematic, thematic. Walang ma. Yan. Si thematic analysis kasi is you'll be looking for certain themes na related to each other. For example, kasi di ba ang tinitingnan nyo na is yung number 1, kaya sabi ko parating connected yan, yung number 1 will answer your research question number 1. Your number 2, thematic analysis, will answer your research question number 2. Kasi ang discuss niya is where are we? So ibig sabihin, you'll get same themes from your secondary data to analyze together. Gets?
Yes, sir.
Sabihin nyo kung malabo ha, pwede man ako mag-explain ulit. So yun so dalawa lang siya. Number 1 is descriptive, number 2 is thematic.
So sir, no need for regression na po.
Hindi na, kasi hindi naman, ang regression kasi ano lang yun eh, pag may measure lang significant impact, ganun.
Okay, sir.
Yan, so yan ang inyong data analysis. So ang nilagay nyo siya is purely, kasi ginaya is purely quantitative. So it's quantitative and qualitative. Wherein for the quantitative part, you will do a descriptive analysis of the survey. And then after ayan, yung sabi nyo nga, after all the surveys have been gathered is to do a thematic analysis to further complement the results gathered from from the surveys. And these the sources for the thematic analysis will come from secondary sources such as current studies, and kung ipupursue nyo, the answers of the survey participants. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear po.
Okay. Yan na yung last, di ba?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Ano pa ang gustong ipaiba ng inyong panel?
Meron pa po pala sir yung about po sa research design. May kailangan pa po ba kaming baguhin po doon?
Parang wala na. Patingin nga ulit. Parang yun yung nakita ko nila, okay na. Sige, wait lang.
Research design.
Gawin nyo na ilagay nyo muna dyan. Ito na lang. With this will be a quantitative, yung unang with this nyo. So this will be a quantitative, this will be both a quantitative and a qualitative research. Wherein for the quantitative, the goal is to identify the readiness of the Philippines in the implementation. On the other hand, for the qualitative, the goal is to understand where we are now in terms of the implementation and why. Parang where we at and why are we at this current level or current stage. And why are we? Nahirapan ako mag-English. And why are we at this current stage? Yan. So, kailangan pa pala na para mas specific. So, para mas specific yung sa quanti, i-discuss na rin dyan na through readiness of the Philippines for the implementation through the use of a survey to be participated in by people who are experts in terms of tech, legal, and econ. Yan. Tapos, yung sa pangalawa na is, while the goal is to understand where we are in terms of readiness through the use of a thematic analysis of the secondary data or studies related to the research and answers of the participants in the interview. Yan, para mas specific yung research design.
So sir, parang hindi na po kailangan i-mention yung type of research design na gagawin. Yung kasi po dito po may nilagay po ako if anong research design yung gagamitin.
Hindi na tayo masyado mag-focus doon kasi ang focus na lang naman natin is dito kasi hindi na siya descriptive eh.
Mm.
Kailangan kasi para siyang i-revamp kasi nga hindi na siya qualitative approach primarily.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Ano pa ang dapat nating ibahin?
I think, sir, yun lang po.
Sige. You can go over that, finalize that. Tapos kung 23 yan, if you want, send nyo siya sa akin days before, once matapos nyo na, para also I can go over it muna before ipasa sa 23.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Okay? Tapos ganito, pag napasa nyo na siya sa akin, well, syempre hindi ko siya mababasa during work hours, pero i-text nyo na ako agad. May number nyo naman ako, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Para at least ma-notify ako agad na na-send nyo na siya. For example, wala naman akong meeting sa office, I can read konti-onti para at least mabalik ko sa inyo kaagad. Kasi minsan, yung DLSU Gmail ko, hindi nag-notify sa akin. So baka makaligtaan ko kayong bigyan ng comment.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. We'll keep that in mind po.
Okay, anything else?
I think na-cover naman po yata lahat.
Sige. If you have questions, just shoot me an email or send me a message.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Sige. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.